Welcome back.
NicknLex here.
Hey, everyone.
How's it going? So tonight
Woo!
we're going to do another reaction to ANGINE de POUTRINE. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, we already did one reaction. Now today we're going to do Sherpa. Check out our previous reaction, obviously. I can't pronounce the name of the previous one. It was really Zarzine.
I have no idea.
Something like that. But yeah, they're quite different. They're quite
Yes, they are. And they weren't as, how can I say? I was expecting something just super, super that I couldn't even like relate to. But yeah, you find the beat, you kind of like
you get into
move a little, you get into it, you groove. So I'm excited to see what this track's going to be. Yeah, and it's going to be the same live from KEXP.
Yeah, the last one was more like looping, and obviously the drums, the guitar doing some melodies and stuff, and then looping and then playing over that with the bass. So let's see what they I have no idea what we're going to get into here, so let's just see where they take it. Again, thank you so much if you subscribe to the channel because of ANGINE de POUTRINE or just because of us. You know, it's really, really nice of you, and thank you for stopping by. And also everyone who has been subscribed to NicknLex, thank you for checking out more.
Yes.
So here we are. Let's pull it up. And there we go. Sherpa, live on KEXP. Let's check it out.
Apprécie les avantages qu'apporte ce mode de construction. Par exemple, son confort thermique. La maison reste fraîche en été et garde la chaleur l'hiver.
It's so cool that he looped that, and then now they can do their salute. Like counter rhythm, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Very nice build up.
Yes.
And now he looped the bass. Back on the guitar. Nice. Some Arabic stuff here. in the vibe.
Yes, I like it. Strangely, I like it. I don't know how.
There's a lot of clash, but it works.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
Sweet. Damn, man, the looping. Wow, that was over so fast.
Discover new music at listener power.
That was over
I know.
way quicker than I thought
I
it was gonna
know.
be. That
I was
really
really sucked in there. And exactly like you said, there was a lot of clashing because he would do one weird thing and then loop it and then do another weird thing on top. And certain notes, it sounded like they were like going backwards, like, but it was the clash between the two notes
Yeah.
that he like piled on top of each other. But somehow it doesn't disturb.
Yes, I
It's
mean,
weird, but it's not like, ugh.
no. I mean, we saw a lot of comments on the first video. It's like, I can only do so much.
Which I
But some people were like, wow, this is so different. I've been listening to prog rock for 60 years, 50 years. This is really, really interesting.
yeah.
And what I loved about, like, yes, there were some things like he created some tension. And I love that the drummer is just locked in.
Yeah.
And he's like brutally like precise, and there's no looping. There's just kind of like he looks at. I love that they can't even communicate.
I was gonna tell you that
only
'cause-
with their eyes, kind of
Right.
like, I don't know. I
but
saw
not
him.
even because the guy has this dollar sign on his eyes. The guitar
Exactly.
player.
So it's almost like just through the music, just what they feel. So it's that's why I love it, because it's really legit improv.
Yes.
Or, I mean, it could have been maybe that they said, hey, let's just see what comes out and then let's call it something. But I love, like, when he does create the tension, kind of like those notes that kind of like clash against each other. But then he kind of like fixes it with the next loop. He creates a bass line that kind of makes that clash feel now like a resolution, like something like, oh yeah, that feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I know he goes a little crazy over some. He creates a little canvas there of bass and guitar and the drums, and then he was tapping, doing some crazy stuff. But that's all improv. But I love that they keep it kind of groovy, and it does sound a little bit like King Crimson sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people were saying in the comments before, and it does sound like progressive
can hear
music. It doesn't really sound jazzy, but sometimes depending on what he does, what kind of arpeggio he plays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's the more you listen to it, the better you understand it. And now this was our second reaction. I understood the concept a little bit more.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why I'm kind of glad that we didn't do the full thing.
In one
I know
setting.
a lot of you guys wanted
We
us
might
to do
do
that.
it.
And
We
we
might do
might.
it.
But I did really, I mean, the first time I didn't hate it at all. I was actually like pleasantly, like I said at the beginning, I was like, oh, I actually enjoyed that more than I thought I would, because I just thought these guys would just play weird things to get attention, you know? But then I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And now I liked it even more. I don't know if it was which song it was, but yeah, it's little by little you kind of start to notice things. So I like that. It's so funny that you mentioned the communication thing, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, the drummer can see him, but he can't really see. He can see the drummer, but I don't know if their eyes can meet, because I think he purposefully put that line there so that to make it, I don't know. But,
I mean,
so,
but they, you know, like musicians have some certain language. Like you see how he was rocking forward. It was almost like he was giving a signal. I can see that,
right?
But I could be wrong. But I mean, usually musicians don't scream at each other.
No,
on stage it's all like kind of like
it's all like, okay,
nodding
your turn,
raising the eyebrows and stuff like that. If you're a musician, you know what I'm talking about. But it's just really cool with this technology of looping. And I remember when we once went to in Florida, we saw this guy, I think at Disney, and he was doing like this really cool loop. He was singing, but he also had an acoustic guitar, and he was looping that into like 3-4 guitars. That was what all the food was.
Okay.
A long time ago. It's like 10 years ago. But it was just fascinating. I was like, wow, I would love to get one of those pedals, you know, just to be experimenting with sounds and ideas over each other. And that's pretty much, you know, the concept here. And it's just two guys, you know. And I love that a lot of people are also taking this as a middle finger to AI, because all this AI crap and all this slop, it's really tiresome. And I've said this in other videos, like, where do I sign? Where do I opt out? You know, I don't want to see AI anymore. Like, I'd rather see some like crazy dudes doing crazy music. And here, I love that you kind of got the vibe of the whole Egyptian, Arab style, like Arabian kind of like scale, even though he was playing like the, you know, the notes. I don't even know how that works. I've never tried a guitar like that, but it would be interesting, because I know how to do certain scales, but I don't know if I could find them on this instrument right away, you know?
Yeah. What I've been meaning to ask is if you're able to do scales when using microtones.
Yes, they're just like they're just, you know, instead of like 12 notes, I guess you have. I really have to look it up, you know.
Like how many microtones are there? Or
that's a cool question. How many notes are in a microtone instrument?
Let's see. There's no fixed number of microtonal notes. They can range from a few extra tones to theoretically infinite.
Yeah. Because it's like playing a violin. You know how a violin, if you don't really know the distance, then you're basically desafinada. You're out of tune. So that is the thing. Like, they are separated, but it could be like, there could be, I mean, for example, there's 21 frets on one guitar. I have one with 24 frets. There's with 22, depending. But I've seen guitars with 30 frets, but it doesn't become microtonal. It's still the same distance between each note. Here, it's like half the note. What the sound you get when you play half. So it's really, really complex. Like, it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, and that's what it says here, I think. Microtonality defines any tuning system outside the standard 12-tone system. Common systems divide the octave into 19, 31, 53, or even 72 equal steps, allowing for smaller intervals than the standard Western semitone.
Exactly. So there it is. So to mess around with that's already, I think, such a breeze of fresh air for everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
So, and then since they're doing it in this fashion of, I would say, progressive rock meets jazz meets a little bit of crazy rock.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that they're just going for it. And the whole, like, also the visual, you know, is kind of like to throw you off. And I can look past that, you know, but I think they look really cool, and they have their whole like thing going on. And it's just like, It's to make it fun.
Yeah.
Honestly.
For a moment there, I was even like spacing out a little bit, like with the dots. There was a shot like when you could see the drummer, and then in the back you could see just the white wall with the black dots. I was kind of just like enjoying the music, and it's kind of like when you're looking at something, but you're looking like, you know, you're not really looking directly at it. So I was kind of like that, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Like with the dots, you know, like, and the music. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was great. Thank you guys so much for like Nick said, all of your support on the other video that we did.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing. We got like I think 50 subscribers in the last video. Thank you so much for checking us out and for liking us and for liking the other stuff that we upload. This is pretty fantastic. One thing I wanted to mention, that you know how I am with like creams and stuff.
Yeah.
But now they kind of like, they have to go with it, because now imagine painting yourself every time. And it's just a thing that when you do something like Daft Punk, which is another cool band.
Yeah.
They were from France, I think.
Yeah,
but they're from Quebec. They were Quebecois.
I actually don't know.
But you know, they started with the whole like playing with their masks on. And that's just a thing that they had to keep doing. And I don't know if Angers de POUTRINE now has to kind of like, you know, keep up with the whole painting, because I didn't even realize the first video that was paint. I thought it was like gloves, and that must get messy real quickly. But hey, if you're in the heat of the moment playing, I don't think you care.
And you can see his sticks.
They
like
were full of
black.
paint.
But I noticed that in the first video, because I was like, wow, he's playing with gloves. The guitar, you have to be so precise with gloves. Like, how is he doing that? And then I noticed that, like, and even in this one, you can tell it's one of the later songs in the set, because the paint already rubbed off the fingertips and all that stuff. So anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. And I think we should do the KEXP if you guys like the video enough.
Let us know. I mean,
let us know, and we would gladly do that. But very interesting. And thank you to Angine de POUTRINE for bringing this music as well. And congrats on everyone who, you know, I read a lot of comments. Oh, I'm in my 60s. I'm in my 70s. Like, being open to something new is cool. So if you are open to new things, we have a lot of great things on the channel that we think you'll enjoy. If you enjoy this, you know, maybe not as crazy, but if you're open to things that are not your typical, like, you know, bands that you know and love, there's a lot of that on here. So please subscribe.
Our videos that don't have a lot of views are the ones which are like newer progressive rock.
And we can show you a lot of new
progressive metal or
things.
Jazz and jazz fusion. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.